Hi, welcome to the very first episode of One Wack Cook. Today we're going to be doing some pot roast, and I'm using a 2-pound boneless chuck for this. You can use other cuts of meat. This one's relatively cheap and it cooks relatively well, so that's what I've chosen to go with today. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take a marinade injector, and we're going to inject this pot roast with some 1 part Dale's, 1 part Yoshida's, and we're going to blend the two. Blend the two. Blending the two. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill our marinade needle. I've got this mixed up. The easiest way to do this I found is plug the bottom. Then you're going to take the plunger side, put that on, keeping your finger on the bottom the whole time. Kind of important. And the reason you're doing this is because the needle tip also has holes in it. So once you get this secured tightly, you can now turn it upside down with minimal leakage. Attach the needle. And what we're going to do is we're just going to, in 3 or 4 different spots, this is a relatively small one, so I won't use all this, but we're just going to insert the needle, and then we're going to fill it in different areas. Just until you see the meat pop up, it'll poof up just a little bit, and if some seeps out, that's okay, no big worries. We're just trying to get this in the middle of it.
Why?
What? What's that you say? Don't ask why you got to add extra flavor to the beef. I said don't ask no questions, just give your flavor to the beef. Let's raise the needle for a marinade offering. Oh my God. So here we go. Just insert it in there in the middle area. Give it a little squeeze. You'll see it poof up. Give it a little rotate. Insert. Give it a little squeeze. Insert. Repeat. Insert. Repeat. Alright. Now that we got all those flavors melted, what we're going to do is we're going to let that sit for just about 15 minutes or so. Let some of that marinade permeate this meat. And then when we come back, what we'll do is we'll start worrying about getting a rub on it and searing it. So, be right back. So the next thing we're going to do is I got a pan over here heating up. We're going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin Earl. Earl here. Huh? While that's heating up, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and season the beef here. So I'm going to start off with some Johnny's seasoning salt.
What's Johnny's?
What? If you don't know what Johnny's is, despite what you may think, you might not be an American.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Johnny's! Get some! Or fuck off! So, just season it up here. Don't be afraid, nice and liberal. Then we're going to pat that in, flip it over. A little mo. Now the Dale's is very salty, so you don't need a whole lot of the salt per se. But Johnny's has a lot of other things in there. It's a coarser mix than some of the other seasoning salts out there, and that's why I prefer it. And some good old granulated garlic, because you can never have too much of that. Season nicely. Rub that in there. And a little bit of black pepper. Now if you'd like, you can go the fancier route and use some cracked black pepper. So I'm just going to go with a regular old canned pepper. Give it a little sprinkling. Don't be scared, it's just pepper. Once we get in there, oil's got a nice shimmer to it. We're going to go ahead and throw this roast in there. We're going to brown it on all sides, even edges if you can in a larger roast. This one's probably small enough, it won't take long. So I'm going to go ahead and sear it off, and then when we get back, I'll show you the ingredients that are going into our pot roast, and we'll get this beast going. Alright? That sounds nice. So what I've chosen for the pot roast ingredients is we've got some baby potatoes, I got some baby reds, some Yukon Golds, and some purple passion potatoes. If you've never seen these, they're really cool. They're bright purple inside, and not much of a flavor difference, just really cool when you get some color contrast in there.
Purple rain, purple rain.
also got one large onion with a quartered, maybe cut into eighths. No, it doesn't have to be real specific on the type of chop. I've got a 6 large cloves of garlic, coarsely chopped, mostly because I like garlic. If you don't, you can certainly omit it or cut it down. I've also got some baby carrots, baby zucchini, and baby squash. I mean, I saw these little guys and I started to tear up, and before I knew it, I was in the store and you boo boo, you boo boo, you boo boo juju, you boo boo, you boo boo juju. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to get all these ingredients into the slow cooker. If you don't have a slow cooker, you could certainly do this on a pot on the stove. Just turn the heat down a little bit. I'll get the slow cooker set up here. We've got our beautifully browned beef, and I'll show you the order in which to put them. All right, so see you in just a second. So the next thing I got here, this is just some regular old onion soup mix. It's a good base. It's very flavorful. It's good for to add the extra bit of flavor that a pot roast usually needs without it being bland. You can pick this up. It's just regular old Lipton onion soup mix. You can use it for things like the recipe of slow cooker pot roast, fox soup, fox soup. So now we've got our beautiful slow cooker. To this first, I'm going to add the potatoes. Now, if these are too large for you, you can cut them in half. I like to leave them whole because I don't like mushy potatoes. I like them still a little bit firm, and they seem to last a little bit longer like that. So, potatoes right in, rinsed, of course, and washed. And then next, I would like to put the rough chopped onion. That'll go right in there. And on top of those, I'm going to do the chopped garlic. Sprinkle it in. Then we're going to add our lovely beef. As soon as I get here we go. Add the beef right on top of those. Very nice. Then we're going to add the vegetables around the beef. Just kind of get them in there however you can. Everybody in the pool. No pooping in the pool, please. Then we're going to add the soup mix. Just pour that right over top. Right over top. Let all those lovely onions go in there. There we go. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn it on high, cover it up, and then we'll come back and check it about every, I'll check it every hour or so to see how it's going. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of liquid, but a lot of the vegetable and juices, as they start to break down, they'll release some juice, and it should be fine. So I'll see you in a couple hours. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. The first thing we're going to do is take a fork, stick it in the meat, give it a little twist. See how that breaks apart there? That's how you know it's done. So, I'm going to take this beautiful piece of meat here, bring it out, place it on the cutting board. Get yourself a pot holder. Now what I've got here is just a bowl underneath some sort of strainer, which you can do yourself. This is going to help you separate the gravy or the good parts you're going to want to put on that meat later. Just pour it on through nice and slow.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I can't see anything.
Give it some help. There you go. Once you get all the juice out, you don't have to get all the veggies out, just the majority. What we're going for here is all that lovely stuff that's collected over the last 4 or 5 hours. Pour that back in the slow cooker. And then we'll get this juice on the stove, thicken up with a little bit of a cornstarch slurry, and we'll have ourselves a beautiful piece of gravy. Show you how to slice the meat and top it all off, and we'll get to eating the best part of this whole deal. So here you can see we've got the stock that was left over in the slow cooker in a small pot, and I've got it coming to a boil. I have here cornstarch and cold water. It's very important. If you use warm water, it will clump up. So take the cornstarch, cold water, give it a good whisk, add it to your stock, and you'll have an instant gravy. Once you get this all mixed up, make sure that the stock is boiling. Add it to it. Start to stir, and already it's thickening. And you can see right away, there it goes. It's already starting to thicken. That is looking really nice. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. And of course, the most important thing that any cook can tell you is taste, taste, taste. So we're going to taste this gravy, see if it needs any salt or pepper, and then we will plate up our final dish. I will show you how to cut the beef, and we'll be ready to get down to grub. Alright. So on any meat, you want to look and see which way the grain's running. In this case, this piece of meat is so tender, it's hard to tell, but you always want to cut across the grain. So what we're going to do here is just going to slice off nice and easy. It may fall apart, and that's good. That's, you know, for a pot roast, that's the best case scenario for you. You know, nice and tender piece of meat will fall apart. So we're just going to cut this up, nice even slices across the grain, like so. And the falling apart, that is excellent. It's exactly what you want. This particular cut of meat, anything that's a boneless blade roast or a pot roast or a chuck roast, they're usually pretty tough cuts of meat. So that's the long cooking process is what's really going to make those a lot more tender. So we're just going to do what we can across here. There we go. I'm going to take up some of this meat here. Get it on the knife if I can. And just plate up this meat amongst the potatoes and the carrots, the baby zucchini, baby squash. Really is a nice dish here. Just arrange it, you know, any way you want. I like the diagonal. Has a little better look to the eye. And we're going to take some of that delicious gravy that we had made. Doesn't matter, because it's on my show. And there you have it. Got a delicious pot roast with some baby squash, zucchini, the baby reds, baby white potatoes, and of course, purple passion potatoes. And thank you for joining us.